Okay, the internet is back. Sorry for that, everybody. So if you guys tune back on in, we'll see where we were going. I was explaining to the new viewer what we were up to. And I gotta find my pen. Threw it across the room. Where did I put my pen? One second, looking for my pen. Which is surely somewhere. Where did it go? Oh. It was in my pocket. Alright. So now that we're back, probably sculpt on this character for another, I don't know, hour or so. Let's take a look at this. All right, back to thinking about modeling. Oh, I know what's going on. Come on. Cool. And welcome back, Sage Ice Claw. Yeah, internet shorted out for a second there. Comcast has been doing just a ton of maintenance in the area, so. Like ice, did kill, make me your thrill. Dude, you're a. How can you not sing along with groove coverage, right? All right, so keep going here, keep making this shape, these shapes. Because I think it's groove coverage that does poison. Who knows? Could be Cascada. Everything sounds exactly the same because it's Euro. Use inflate real fast there. Kind of just give it some more. Kind of the idea. And I'm gonna like smooth it down, kind of make it more chiseled. I just want more space to work with my tool. Cool, now I can use clay tubes, kind of pull it down. Probably want to start getting more detailed here. Trying to decide how blended I want. Oh yeah, I do want those to look blended because that looks nice. Decrease the curve a little bit. The ears. Right, let's zoom in and really focus on these guys now. Kind of just start blocking this out. I don't I'm just having a nice time feeling this out. So I'm probably going to stay in this mode for a little bit of just going through the sculpt and feeling out the character, kind of, quote, getting to know him a little better, kind of getting in the mindset of how it evolved and where it might, you know, does it hear, right, like we do, things like that. Those are the kind of questions that are going through my head as I'm doing this sculpt, right? And I'm also thinking of things like what in society and in literature, what shapes we associate with things like, oh, are these like pointy elven ears, right? You know, when we think of a goblin, or we think of, you know, stuff like that, right? So I'm trying to use kind of cultural and societal, you know, I don't want mimetic or meme, but like, what patterns are we thinking about as human beings, as pattern-seeking creatures, when we look at an ear or a shape like this? What information do we as animals gather from these shapes? Do we see a predator? Do we see a demon or a devil? Those are kind of the things that I'm thinking about as I, you know, do this sculpt, because I want to create a character that, you know, has kind of a sinister look, but is also kind of fun and approachable. So like bad boy, or, you know, something like that, right? Those are the kind of the elements that I'm getting from these characters. So kind of a there's like a regalness to the character. There's a little bit of a, you know, these are the thoughts that are going through my head as I sculpt this guy out. I love the shapes that we're making here, because they just seem to make so much sense. Come on, snap how I want. You know, how I want. There we go. And, alright, so I've done a little more detail work on the ear. I'm just going to smooth out the jaggies here, since I'm not doing texturing. I don't want to get too focused on any of that crap. I will, because there's not going to be fur in it, but not yet. It's kind of a secondary detail that I'm not ready to approach yet. One thing I do want to approach right now, oops, button. One thing I do want to approach, I'm trying not to like slam your guys' ears right in the microphone, is the nose. So I'm going to start extending this geometry here and thinking about nose stuff. Is just nose stuff, baby. So let's grab this guy, smooth out his teeny bit, and let's just make that nose. Look how easy that was. And yep, that's how we think about those things. The opposite of all of these things, please. I've really got to learn how to make sure I don't screw up my workflow. There we go. Let's try that again. There's this. I think I'm going to start with my scale, actually. I don't really need to move it out. I just need to scale it up, because it's going to move out automatically anyway and get me a lot closer to where I want to be from the beginning. Like, and let's look at our example models. This guy, huge snoot, big snooter, big snooter, big snooter. I'm digging it. I'm digging the big. Let's get it like right there. If that's not a back character, I don't know what is. I mean, that's just very clearly a back character. Gonna rotate it a little bit. This guy, yeah, I'm gonna rotate. How much do I want to rotate it though? I think it's just these guys that are too far back. So let's start addressing some of the geometry. I'm gonna keep, what parts am I happy with? I'm happy with everything in the middle. So I'm gonna try to grab the extremes here. Not you. So I'm gonna grab, I'm just gonna get a new mask. And I'm gonna paint this mask on. No, first I'm gonna grab it. I guess I was right. Grab it first. And then I'm gonna flip it, and then I'm gonna just paint the ones that I want. Freehand it. So, pretty happy with what's going on in the middle here. I just want to try to grab some of these extreme bits, those 4 points essentially, and I just want to kind of move them around. So I think I'm going to start with rotate. Look how well that worked. It's exactly what I wanted to do essentially. We're starting to make that bat nose. I've had so much fun with this that I've forgotten to really get all save-like. Let's ensure that we absolutely do that. Alright, so we're saved. I'm also going to make sure my video is looking fine here. Nope, I'm a little off-center. There we go. Probably need to get a little closer to my mic, too. Oh, yeah, that's better. Sorry about that, guys. Alright. So now that we're here, let's take a look at... Yeah, I had to get up to fix the internet, and I forgot to reposition and recheck my levels and everything else, so... Alright, bat nose geometry. I like this one. Let's try to make that one. Back to lasso. Oh, look. Nostrils. Everything's easy in ZBrush. Boo doop boop boo. Yes, it is, but only if you remember to do it right. Otherwise, you'll get in trouble for stuff. Oh, I'm so mad at you. Right. Look at that. Keep moving them. I'm going to probably want to increase the geometry in this area because we're right about at the limit for what we can do there. Yeah, we're starting to do some detail modeling, so I'm going to increase the resolution of that area. I'm going to do a divide. Back to our highest res. Curious if the polyframe is really enough there for us to do what we want. I'm probably going to divide it one more time. Because I mean it was really bad. And the nose is an area without fur. Divide it again. That's probably enough geometry to do what we want. All right. Looking sharp. Probably try to correct some of the stuff going on back here, but with a smaller brush. Just don't want anything to get too creased, because if I don't address those things as they come up, they tend to just run away and absolutely out of control. Continue to model this out, get some of these creases out of there. All right, I'm going to redraw those. Drop our polyframe. Probably also drop our mask as well. So I'm gonna get that. Probably looks like crap. Yep. Let's do a better job of drawing that. Let's look at our example. So we want to probably grab a smaller area here. I'm going to grab the interior and do, no, I don't know. I might just freehand this for a second. No, I'll probably do that. Yeah, there we go. Because I can create that nice sharp deal. Okay. There's not the top of the nose leaf. We got to do that real quick. I'm going to add to the mask now. The opposite of that. Well, the entirely opposite of that. There we go. All right, works for me. That's the area we're going to bring up. I mean, is it? I guess it is kind of a blend. And we also are going to want to blend it into the nose geometry as well. So I'm just going to bring it up, make sure I'm not colliding anything. Maybe I'll blend it just to kind of bring it up a little better. And I can just fix it in a minute. So this guy, I'm going to say it should go to the bottom of the eyelid. Maybe like right here. I think that seems legit. All right, let's take a look. Get out of here. And then we're going to reselect this guy in here. Actually, I think we had it right the first time. Cool. Looking good. Tubes it. One cookie to whoever can guess which Dr. Alban song I'm listening to. All right. So what I want to do now, I've got these nostrils going here. I'm just going to kind of freehand for a second. I'll go back to this one. And think about how I want the illusion of the nose leaf to work. I think I don't want it to... I think we want to kind of mimic the puppy bat nose look and meld it in with the leaf vampire bat nose, which means that I don't want it to just kind of stand up like this one is. I want it to... kind of blend into the face a little more, into the bridge of the nose. Like, so if you look at a flying fox, it's got kind of a puppy nose. You know, everything's kind of just ends in a snout with a nose kind of deal going on. So I'm going to attempt to do that illusion here. Play with that anyway. I can always roll it back if I don't like it. But yeah, I'm already really liking how that's looking. how that conceptually will work with this character, because it kind of leads to a more central prominent nose, and then that we can lead into the illusion of the eyebrow, create some nice contours on the face, and we'll start grabbing those in there. Yeah, he's looking good. So I'm going to keep bulking up that eyebrow. And we're going to, of course, want to also save room for an eyelid. And this is also where we're probably going to want to start adding geometry, because we're exceeding the limit of the geometry we have here. It's just getting really difficult without it being smoothed. So I think it's about time to subdivide the eyes. We'll come back to that in a second. I want to, yeah, I guess the secondary detail of the nose. Just a little more, just so that we can say we did it. And we can think about it more later. We're going to come back to it. Let's work on just that primary detail first, that primary silhouette. I'm even going to trim all this down in bump detail, just so that we don't get too distracted up in this. Yep, nice and simple. Tone this guy back down, and we're going to now come in and thank you for the save, ZBrush. Always a good plan. Right, time to subdivide the eye. I think I'm going to do it right along like this, but I should have polyframes here. Hey, I almost had it. I think up to here is good. So that's a nice edge loop. Take a look at the geometry too. I'm just going to kind of do this. That seems legit to me. And from here, and I know it doesn't really matter. I know we're in ZBrush and it's just going to ignore all this when we do the retopo anyway, but may as well kind of practice stuff. There's this. Because we're going to, when we actually do remeshing, we're going to care a little bit. Drop to our lowest res. Oh, I should have just done it here. That would have made a lot more sense. So I'm going to freehand paint some of those in there. Just make sure that I grab all the areas that we want to have subdivided geometry in, because you see how it's getting it per vertex. I don't want to interrupt too much. So yeah, hey, that looks nice. I think we got all the vertexes we want to add geometry to. I'm going to hide the eyes to make sure we're getting behind there, though it doesn't really matter. Yep, we got them. I think we got them in the first circle that we did. We wouldn't have got them in the freehand, I don't think. Though I'm no expert. I actually have to go test it to see. I don't just know. Doing a divide. And I think I'm going to do the same thing again, where I'm going to lower the, well, I don't know, maybe it's enough. There's that super high res. Let's see if that's enough to do it, because the nose is going to do a lot more weird deformy stuff than the eyes. Because again, those are going to be covered in a light fur. I don't think I'm going to have a, anyway, got our polyframe. No, I'm doing it again. Doing one more. Snap mute button. Just do this on the lowest. Yeah, because that's not enough. That's not enough resolution. Oh, oops. Just clear this. This will be the fastest way to grab it. And I'll fix it in a minute. Probably didn't get it all. Oh, looks like I did. Freehand time. Make sure I didn't grab anything over here I don't want. That's all looking cool. Oh, what did I do? There we go. Yeah, it looks good. Let's divide it one more time. What on earth did I just do? That was wacky. I don't know what it was showing. What is it showing when it's doing that? Get out of here, polyframes. Oh, I know what it's doing. Never mind. It's showing those deformation points or something like that. Oh, also, did I actually do that right? Huh, that's why that was screwing up. I should have caught that before. Flip. Divide. Yeah, it doesn't need to be 1,000,000 points. That is for sure. What the crap? Did I like accidentally click a button? What was that? No. Don't do it. Don't do drugs. Yeah, damn right. Looks good. Maybe I went too far back. I totally did. Damn it. Do it again, just really fast. Sorry, guys. Should have seen that. All right. All right, and okay, I'm going to go to lowest. Switch my freehand real fast. Just make sure I get those. Make sure I get those. Yeah, it looks fine. Okay. Flip it. Divide it. And that looks legit. I think that's enough geometry. If it's not, whatever. Probably going too much. I mean, it's not as big as the nose, but it's certainly a lot. Yeah, looks fine. So we were talking just a second ago about the concept that we might bring into the eyebrows here. So let's do that. Get my draw size up a little bit. Yeah, that's actually working with what I want now. Kind of make a little less angry. But only a little. He's still pissed. Just kidding. Let's get these eyebrows eyelids started. So I'm going to do that differently in a second here. I think that's a good way to do it. I'm liking that. I never got the hang of doing this correctly. Oh, I'm doing this wrong. I'm sure there's a nicer way to do this. I'm just screwing it up. I have a book. It's like 10 years old, but I have a book. I should be using that. I think it's because I'm using clay tubes with that alpha mask. I might use inflate here to get a little more geometry space. smooth out, just kind of inflate it up. I mean, he'll have like that busted. I'm not going to make a domestic violence joke. I think that's pretty screwed up, so I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to complete that thought. But I'm going to use the inflate brush. It's going to have kind of a puffy under eye, but we're going to fix it by going up here. Oh yeah, that's the way to do it. That looks so much better. And I'm just going to kind of inflate it out because I can just smash down the other parts. And we'll just seal up the eye. Continue to do that until it's about at a closed state. Because it's just going to deform right around the area of the eye. The eyeball. Ball hard. And we're gonna probably go back in because I see the quads kind of really coming out here. We'll come back and do the eyelids, but I'm just gonna get that started, and then I'm gonna smash it down here with flatten. My brush size a little smaller. Look how nice that works. I'm gonna keep the lid shape. Gonna keep moving it around to make sure I don't get in any trouble here. ZBrush makes it so easy to do this moving around that I have no excuse not to do it constantly. All I gotta do is lift up my pen and right click. You kidding? I need to do way more. Hey, look at that. Okay, let's start at the top here. Nope. Draw size jumped up when I accidentally right clicked. Alright, I'm going to draw a little bigger now. Start making the angle of the eye here. My Z intensity up, double it. So it's doing what I want, it's doing it very slowly. 1.5. That's what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, and I'm probably gonna use clay tubes now. And I'm gonna make kind of an indent here to kind of show you guys what I'm trying to do. Right. Merge that out there. I'm gonna zoom out a little so I can get more an idea of the face of what we got going on. Yeah, that's kind of the idea. Getting that together. All right, let's go to flatten again. We'll start getting some planes made here. Flattening out, getting a faceted look. Flatten some of this out. And that's what I was talking about getting in trouble. I think I might have lost too much of the eyebrow, but I'm going to play with it for a second and see why I think that. It's probably because I don't have enough going on with the bridge of the nose. I don't have enough planing going on in the bridge of the nose, so it doesn't look... There we go. See, that's what I'm talking about. The bridge of the nose was kind of what was actually being lost there. And we want a resting face, because when we start deforming the model with rigging, we're going to want it to deform in a way that makes sense for the IKs and the blur envelope crap. So, which we're definitely not getting into tonight. I'm going back into the nose. I don't want to do that. Don't want to go back into the nose yet. I want to go around the nose, because I think when I go back to look at this guy, we're still missing some details here. Just looks a little gaunt. I think he should look so gaunt. I'm going to do a little more work up here. I want a little more detail up there. I think that's about where the eyebrows should come together and blend into the top of the ear. We got our zygomatic here into there. Might add a little more shadow down here. And I'll just make the shape that I expect to see here. Yeah, it should be like that because his jaw is open. That's kind of the idea. And that can come up and work with our zygomatic that we want to do here. I was worried for a second that the X symmetry has been off for the last like 100, 200 strokes, and I was like, oh my god, really? So I just wanted to see my cursor was still there. But I haven't been reaching for my keyboard, so I don't know why I thought that. Probably means that it's getting late, and it's almost 2 in the morning. So I've got some stuff going on tomorrow, so I'm probably not going to stream until like 3:30 like I did last night. I'll probably wrap in about half an hour. Start getting some shadows going in here. When I talk about shadows, I'm talking about, you know, kind of the flow of the character, the flow of the illusion of shape and everything else. It's all done with shadows. It's all about shadows. And we want the character to feel dynamic and have motion, right? So we talk about that. You know, we want your eyes to get caught on different points and travel back. We want them to feel sleek and lifelike and kind of exciting and interesting, but not necessarily something to fear. I mean, he looks kind of angry right now. I mean, maybe you might have a little fear. I don't know. But we want this character to... I don't know how I feel about this back here. I guess that's the temporalis. Is that the right word for it? The temple. I think that's where the word temporalis comes from. In order to make that make more sense, that means this needs to be a little taller. And I mean, obviously human ears, you know, my eyebrows don't go into my ears, but they flow that way, right? If we look at the human face, and for the sake of the stream, we'll all look together. So if we look at the face, right, the flows of the face, the eyes and how things circle around, and the illusions that we even create with facial hair to do all this stuff, right? So there's all these different shapes on the face that our pattern seeking brains are looking out and seeking out. And the lines that we follow are all about shadow, right? And we can see the circles and the spheres and all these different things on the face. And that's what I'm talking about right there for looking at those characters. Bust back my size real quick. Let's take a look at this guy again. And sounds like some of our viewers have some internet problems right now. I think I just got a message on Messenger from one of our friends in the chat. So I'm definitely gonna wrap at 2:30. So we'll have another half hour streaming here. Kind of get to a nice stopping point. It feels natural, and we'll kind of end the stream there. And anyone that can't view the stream now, of course, all these are recorded, and they're recorded without music. So not only can you listen to your own music, which we highly encourage. I'm listening to music right now. But we're recording this without music so that my voice never gets muted because we don't have the rights for the music. So that's smart, right? So these are all going to always be around because the only content that we're creating and viewing here is all copyright moi. And, you know, the lovely contributors that we'll have on the show and the assets and models they release to us, like our good friend Sage Ice Claw, who was so grateful to provide these ears. That's right. We started the program by trying to work with the ears that I had modeled, and we said, nope, we're going to cut those off and put on his ears, and look at how far this model has come with that. So excellent ears, Sage Ice Claw. Thank you for taking the time and having the interest to model these out for us. I think these turned out just excellent. And we have a very unique character here that kind of strays from our reference art, which is by Dark Gem and by Faber-Castell. We're kind of using them as the base. We just like the way those characters look. I wanted to draw some inspiration from those. Let's take a look at this here, see how we're looking. I'm kind of just adding texture everywhere because I don't want to smooth down now. We're not necessarily in a texturing phase, but by adding these lines here, I don't get distracted by the smoothness, if that makes sense. And it kind of shows me intuitively in my own head where I am in the modeling process, and it makes it less distracting to my brain when I see a little bit of crosshatch action going on, because then when how far back do I have to roll that? Not too far. Okay. Yeah, so by doing that, I can make sure I'm not grabbing that too hard. Yeah, these little crosshatches are going to help me quite a bit in ensuring that my character is having a uniform look, and I won't get distracted by things kind of stopping. I'm just going to crosshatch through here, crosshatch through here. And that'll give the character kind of a uniform texture, more or less. You know, and we'll be able to intuitively, visually know where we are in the modeling process. Kind of finish that sketch. Wow, man, that looks so much better. I'm going to do a side-by-side because I think we've really kind of reached a nice milestone with this because of the help that we've had from our viewer channel. All the people in the chat, and Sage Ice Claw especially, very, very awesome work kind of getting us this far. Thanks to Game Art 101. You can follow his channel as well. He does some streams. Thanks to Game Art 101 for reminding me and informing me about all the nice properties of mirror and weld, which fixed our symmetry issue. And yeah, let's see here. So I'm going to kind of get this, keep working on that there. So let's line up a nice montage here. So here's that. Here's this guy. Let's save him. Save the tool. Make my keyboard turn on first. I guess we're on 15. All right, and then I'm gonna go into out of edit mode and into draw mode, and I'm gonna draw one of the old masks that we had here. That one seems legit. I think that one's pretty close. We want a white one as well. That's probably a good one to look at. Let's see if I have. Yeah, I'll do the colored one, and I'm just gonna clear its poly paint. So I'm gonna get these guys lined up. I'm gonna do a universal scale. I don't want to blow anything up here. Seems legit. Separate these guys out just a little bit. What the hell? There we go. Seems legit. So we're gonna get these guys oriented here. Kind of get these side by side, and we can take a look at these two different models side by side, and we can decide which one's better, because in my mind, I mean, the poly paint looks nice and it's flat and it's shaded and all that, but like, which of these is a more compelling model, right? Which of these looks right? This one's jawline's a little more defined. This one's obviously not done. I'm just talking about general shapes, right? So I'm going to go real quick here. I'm going to go into my poly paint, and I'm going to kind of make it very clear to understand. Oh, wait. No. Don't roll back. You're good there. You're good. Draws, yeah. I was trying to do brush size, but I had it in my undo panel. So I'm just going to clear these guys out. Guess I have to rotate you a little bit to get you out of there. Is it mRGB? I mean, I want all the crap out of here. Come on. I wonder why those are like not going. RGB intensity is at 100. I'm on mRGB. All right, whatever. We good. I'm going to realign these guys real fast. So now that these are a lot easier to compare, the question becomes, which of these is better? Now, obviously, this guy over here is poly paint, has a lot of texturing going on. We're not done. Which of these is more bat-like? Which of these is a bat? This looks more like an Anubis, right? It's like Beezus or whatever his name is from Dragon Ball Z. The ears are really tall and high up on the head. The nose leaf's kind of the puppy leaf, like the puppy leaf. I am getting tired. It's like the puppy nose of the fruit bat, right? This is kind of a bigger nose. So obviously, you know, this guy's a little less approachable, and we're going to kind of make him cuter and kind of streamline him, make him a little more approachable. The teeth detail's a little finer here. But also, of course, the polyframe totally effed. But we already found out Z-Remesher just clears that no problem. All right, so I'm gonna take this, and what did I just do? Did I move it? I guess I moved it. And I'm gonna try also. Is that a thing? Can I turn it? So I'm just gonna kind of line these guys up real fast. Make sure their heads are about the same size. All right, their heads are about the same size now. Cool. So I'm going to more carefully grab my keyboard now. Print screen. I'll get this brush out of the way. I'm just going to copy the clipboard. We're going to go over to Photoshop. All right, there's that. I'm going to make room for our reference images as well. And I'll probably clean that up a little bit. Oh yeah, contiguous, that'll help. Yep, look how much that helps. How's that look? That's good enough. Clear out my background here. Get a nice composition going here. Look at that. Look at that. Just like before. Anyway, that looks fine. Here's this guy. Yeah, I might include that separately. So this guy's head's a little tilted a little different. That's not the point. Try to... Fine. Just want to get these guys about equally sized. Looks fine. This cleaned up. Actually, I don't know what I'm doing here. Should just magnetic lasso select that. Because this is going to do edge detection or whatever, and I'll grab it. I'm going to make it a really lazy selection because I want to keep that pretty fur detail in there. I'm going to cut that. Well, I suppose I could have feathered it, which I'll do real fast. Yeah, see? Look at how nice that looks. He's on fire. And I'll just do that. Hey, look at that. I changed the thing. Now he can be like our dudes. One of us. I mean, I could even do stuff like, you know, modify his shape a little bit to kind of get a perfect idea of where he's at. Just, you know, it's not going to be perfect. His neck's angled down in this shot, but that's kind of the idea, right? And for the sake of kind of keeping God, Dark Gems art's just so good. Senpai, notice me. I don't know if I need to delete this or not, but let's just see what it looks like. Just might look cleaner. Whatever. I'll just keep it. I did the work. May as well keep the result. Is this love? Got to be the music. Is this the love? Cool. So there's that. And I also want to, we've got, where I put those reference images. I'll pull those. Can I do that? Can I just copy them and paste them? Is that the thing I can do in Photoshop? Copy, paste. Is my keyboard on? Now I'm alt-tabbing. I should know that my keyboard's on. All right, let's pull this. Copy. New layer. Le past. So I'm going to get this guy sized up. And obviously, these models don't have hair as well, so this character's kind of face is going to be a little obscured, but I just kind of want him in there for reference purposes, since this is the original inspiration for the model. And I'm going to do another magnetic lasso here. Kind of guiding a magnetic lasso around some of these details. Adjusting my grip on the pen. And again. So we go up the ear, down the side. I kind of think he does have two chips in his ear. Oh no, the chip's just on one side. Never mind, I was being silly. Because originally, when we did the transformation, we lost a lot of that. And there's our guy. Invert that selection, feather it. I'm actually going to expand it as well by 10 pixels while it's inverted. Maybe by 5. Where's my mouse? Come on, baby. Oh, it's because I've got touch on. Modify. Expand. And do it by 5 this time. And we'll go feather it. Yep, looks good. Oh God, stop. Yeah, cool, thanks, you're amazing. Come on. Cool. Yeah, I'll see how these all kind of line up. You can see kind of where I was going with a lot of this, which is I'm proud of. I'm proud of that. And then I'm gonna crop you. Just can the layer it's on. So you can kind of see kind of the more round shape of that face. This one kind of matches a little more. So there's our two reference characters. There's the intermediate character that we created, right? So I'm gonna try to line these guys up in a reasonable way here. Give me a second. Yeah, that's better. I want to kind of get their eyes aligned as well, which means we're gonna get rid of the head tilt. There's that guy. There's that guy. I'm probably gonna warp him just a little bit. See if I can. No, why do I think I can foreshorten the eye? That doesn't even make any sense. I'm just gonna do a rotate, make sure the eyes are lined up the other ones, and we'll start doing a little bit of study. All right, these guys are all in about the same pose now. I'll have different ideas on what those are. Okay, time for some guides. So obviously the ears are all going to be a little different. What I want to do is kind of get, I'm just going to try to get a center point on the eyes and get everyone aligned on that. I'm actually going to move. All right. Might even rotate this guy a little bit, just kind of get his eyes a little more lined up. I didn't really do a good job in ZBrush of setting this up. So I'm going to try to get all the characters lined up so their eyes are on kind of a center point. That looks good there. See if I can get these guys doing the same thing. Okay, seems legit. This guy's gonna get turned a little. Looks good. This one's the easiest to do. Get a hair guide. And let's start doing our study. So all the chins on these guys line up. I don't even know what that means. I don't know if that even matters here. I don't know if that's going to add any value. Other than this guy's got a shorter chin, but he's not angled down. He's kind of looking flat up. That's like a Daikamura cover or Dakia Kimura, whatever they're called, body pillows. All right, so let's look at some other characteristics. So I'm going to look at the top of the skull. I'm going to look at the bottom of the mandible. I'm going to look at the center of the eye. No need to snap. That looks good. I'm going to look at all those things. I'm going to look at the ridge of the eyebrow. I'm going to look at the ridge of the ear thingy, the top of the meat of the eyebrow. I'm going to look at the lid of the eyelid. I like that. Now I'm looking at this guy right here, if you couldn't tell by my mouse cursor movements. All right, and we're going to look at, I guess, maybe the center point with the nose. And then this guy's head's tilted down a little more, so I don't know how valuable that's going to be on this particular thing. These guys are all kind of lined up, though. Are they? Whatever. It's a data point. I don't know how useful it will be, but And I'm doing all this based on this guy anyway, so what am I talking about? Yeah, we're good. Let's look. Let's look and annotate and examine now. So I'm gonna get my brush out, and I'm gonna change my color to like a red. Fantastic. Cool. So let's look at these guys. We've kind of been looking at this lineup for a minute, so let's zoom in and really get some details. We'll kind of do not a critique, but an analysis of the characters. And we'll just do them one by one. I don't know how much I think I can learn from this, other than just comparing them side by side. I guess I'll want to compare each of these in a lineup side by side and just decide what I want and like about either one. And we're about at the 5-minute mark for the stream. What I'm going to do is I'm going to post this image online and link it in the, I guess, I don't know if there's like a story feed or like anything for the comments. I'm still pretty new to Twitch. But I'm going to I guess I'll post it as a status update for the channel. I think that's something I can do. So I'm going to post this image, and you guys can, for the people that are watching the video after the fact, for people that are getting caught up, I'd love your feedback on what you think we can learn from these here. And with that, I think we're going to call it for tonight. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks again to Sage Ice Claw for the lovely asset that he gave me, that gave me these beautifully shaped ears. And thanks everyone for tuning in. Please go ahead and follow me if you want to see more of these videos. I'm trying to do one every day. This one, I've been going since 9 p.m. It's about 2:30 a.m. now. All these videos are going to be nice and long, lots of content. Nothing is censored out. No breaks or edits or cuts, so you get to see the whole creative process. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks very much. Let me kind of do one more thing here. I'm gonna save that and upload that as promised. And we'll just we'll sign off from here. So thanks again everyone for tuning in. And it was lava. I didn't see that on my chat. It was just two straight bars. That's it, guys. You guys have an excellent night. Thanks again for tuning in. See you next time.